Hello and welcome to Wunder Gun Rods. I'm going to be cleaning the bore on this Ruger Mark IV, and I'm going to start by using a flannel. These are actually flannel patches. They're 7/8 inch, and I found these on Amazon. These work great. Let's see, yeah, okay. So we're going to go ahead and run our patch through about maybe 7, 8 times back and forth. That's the beauty of the Wunder Gun Rod. It grabs the patch. You can work it back and forth. So you're getting a lot of cleaning power in a very short period of time. I'm going to exit out through the chamber area, push anything out through there, and you can see how dirty that is. That's about I know what it is. It's exactly 60 rounds. I just had it at the gun range yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and repeat the process again with the mineral spirits. You can use whatever gun cleaning solvent that you like. It doesn't matter. I just like the mineral spirits. It's a good carrier solvent and it works very well. This is the odorless mineral spirits, so you don't have the smell. And it's not very harsh. In fact, you don't get it on your fingers. If you're real careful when you put it on the patch, you don't get anything on your fingers. You don't have to wear gloves. Okay, that's patch number 2. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to run my nylon brush through. You can use your, if you notice in the front, right above where it says wondergunrods.com, you'll see a bronze bore brush there, and you notice that it's tapered. And I'll explain that in a few minutes when I go to use that. But I'm just going to use my nylon brush, run it through a few times. And we're going to go ahead and check this bore with a bore scope after we get done cleaning it. And that's going to determine whether we need to use the bronze bore brush or not. So now that I cleaned the bore out with the nylon brush, we're going to go ahead, run a dry patch through there and clean that whatever's in there out of there. And like I said, you can work that patch back and forth, back and forth. You can see it's not too bad. And I'm going to go ahead and exit that through the chamber. There's a little bit of fouling on there, not too bad, a little carbon on there. Now I'm going to go ahead and give that some lubrication, lubricate the bore. And I use mineral oil. You can use whatever you want. Mineral oil works real well for the interior of the gun, and also for wiping down the exterior of the gun, all your metal parts. And then once we run this through 6 to 8 times, we're going to go ahead and run a dry patch through. I'm going to exit through the chamber. And you can see that's pretty clean. So we're going to follow up with a dry patch. Oh no, I'm sorry. Now I'm going to do my mineral oil. So we dried the bore out. Now we're going to run some mineral oil through there. And then we'll follow up with the mineral oil with one more dry patch. And then we'll check the bore with the bore scope. You can see it glides real easy. Once that bore is fairly clean, you can feel any resistance on the Wunder gun rod. You can feel the vibrations that go through the rod with that carbon fiber. You can tell, how dirty once you get used to it, you can tell how dirty the bore is when you first start. So we're going to exit out through the chamber. And you can see that's pretty clean. And now we're going to follow up with a dry patch. And if you just place that patch in the center of the bulb like that, and then just punch it right into the bore. And I like cleaning the guns from the crown. Some people disagree with that, but you can't hurt anything with the Wunder gun rod. In fact, you can't hurt anything with the bronze brush, because what I did was, if you look at the very tip of that bronze, the back end of the bronze brush where it meets the rod, you can see that's tapered. That was done on a lathe so that end can't catch on the crown of the gun. Okay, so now that's it for that. And we're going to go ahead and take the bore scope. And let me wipe the tip down. And then we're going to break out the bore scope. and see if we need to use the bronze brush or not. So that's the very front of the bore. You can see the lands and grooves starting right there. And you can see some pieces of cotton in there. You can blow those out with canned air, but I see some carbon in there. And I see some stuff on the surface, not those little white spots. Those are cotton. That's from the cotton patch. But there you can see some carbon right there, a little bit of carbon there. And also you see a lot of like weird lines in there. And what those are called striations. Those are machined. In other words, when they bore, whether they button pull it or whether they use a cut and they cut through, it's going to leave little marks. And they're called striations. And if you have some fouling or contamination down in those, it's not going to hurt anything. You want to make sure everything is off the tops of the lands and the grooves, anything on the surface. So you just run the bronze brush through a couple times. I could have run that through maybe 4 times, but 2 will do it. I could tell by looking at the bore. I've done this so many times. I can tell by looking at the bore, it just needs a couple times. Now we're going to follow up with a dry patch. And you'll see some discoloration on there because we ran that bronze bore brush through and we got the rest of that stuff out of there. There you go. We'll go ahead and run another patch through. And you can feel how smooth it is. Of course you can't, but I can. Okay, not too bad. Now we're going to take our mineral oil and we're going to run that through. Just a couple drops is all you need. And if you do it that way, what I just did, it won't get on your finger. And then when we look at this with the bore scope, you should notice a big difference. Now this gun has probably well over 3,000 rounds put through it from day one, but it's been well taken care of. And I don't use real hot loads either, so degradation of the metal is not really an issue. I mean, over time it is, but if you keep the bore clean, it'll last a lot longer. Especially carbon. Carbon is the biggest enemy. That's hydrophobic. It'll absorb moisture and it will rust your bore. So when I get done shooting within 24 hours, I want to clean that bore out. Okay, that should finish up, and then we're going to go ahead and take a look at it with the bore scope, and you should notice a difference. Okay, there's the front, the rifling at the very front. Same as the other bore scope video. Now you can see the striations, the little tiny slivery lines that run through there. That's during the machining process when it looks to me like this is button pulled, but it's hard to tell. Supposedly the Rugers now are all cold hammer forged, but this doesn't look like it's cold hammer forged to me.